Welcome to the show, Mr. Erik. We're really happy to have you with us today. And to begin with, I want to ask you, like, for our viewers to know that who exactly is a sommelier, and could you just break it down for us so that everyone can understand, since it's an unconventional field.
Absolutely. Sommelier is basically somebody who has specialized knowledge in wine. Um, Being a sommelier basically means that you spend a decent amount of your life studying wine so that you can better assist guests in restaurants or in stores or in hotels, but basically helping people with their wine selections. The other facet of being a sommelier is building wine programs for restaurants and or managing and maintaining those wine programs for restaurants. Um, that are financially viable, profitable, operationally efficient, etc., training staff. So basically everything related to the business of wine and restaurants.
Okay, that's awesome. So, what inspired you to take up this career, and was there a turning point?
Um, there was. So from a very early age, I wanted to be a chef. And I spent the first 10 years of my working life in kitchens, working my way up to fine dining. And that's what I thought my career was going to be. And then, frankly, chefs drink a lot. And as I started to develop my palate as a chef, I started to drink for flavor and complexity rather than just for alcohol. The other thing is, in the United States, the reality is sommeliers or servers or front of the house employees just make so much more money than back of the house. So I was the restaurant chef of a fine dining French restaurant at a Park Hyatt in Philadelphia. The captains and sommelier would start their shift 3 hours after me. They'd leave their shift 3 hours before I finished. They wouldn't have to work in quite the same environment. Not saying they didn't work hard, but it wasn't as hard. I'd be constantly in the kitchen in the heat and getting burnt and rushing around to do 8-course tasting menus while they're casually chatting. They have their busy moment, and then it's easy again. They're polishing glasses, and they were making 3 times as much as I was. So the reality was, I was already getting into wine. And I had put myself through university and had pretty significant student loan debt, and I just needed to make more money. So I had an opportunity to transfer within my own hotel company to a new luxury hotel they were opening in a city that I was very much interested in living in at the time. And I made the transition to front of house, got my introductory sommelier certification, just expecting to be a captain. And then within about 5 or 6 months of the hotel opening, the head sommelier quit. The wine director was fired, or maybe the other way around, I don't know, but they both left. I was the only one with any kind of wine training at all. So they said, okay, you're running the hotel, the restaurant, the club, the in-room dining, catering, everything, figure it out. And that was 17 years ago, and I haven't turned back since.
Okay. So, what is the kind of training do you need to go under to become a sommelier?
So one of the things I love about being a sommelier is that there's never a stop to your training. It's not that you do this amount of training and you do it. If you're a computer programmer and you want to learn a programming language, you do the introductory course, the secondary course, you learn the language, and then you use it. There's really no more trajectory on that path. With a sommelier, really, until you know absolutely everything about wine and everything about every winery that ever exists, you have more to learn. And the reality is, I've been studying for 16, 17 years. I maybe know 1 or 2% of what there is to know about the world of wine. So it's a never ending study, books and research and tastings and all of that. But there are different organizations across the world that offer varying ways that you can sort of get into it. Some organizations, like the Court of Master Sommeliers, which is most popular in the United States and in the UK, they don't really offer training, they offer certification. So you self-study, they give you sort of not so much a curriculum, but some guidance into what it is you need to learn to pass the various levels. And then they offer exams with theory and practical and blind tasting components. The other major global certifying agency, the Wine and Spirits Education Trust, or WSET, they actually have wine schools all across the world. I think they're in over 100 countries, where you can actually take a guided training curriculum on the path from introductory to level 2 to level 3 to diploma, advanced, all the way up to master of wine. So those are the two main tracks to really become a sommelier. But it's a never-ending study. No matter whether you do it on your own or whether you do it through a course, you'll never know everything. You won't even know half of it.
Right. So do you belong from a family of sommeliers?
I do not. I am the only person in my family, not only who's a sommelier, but most of my family outside of my wife don't even really drink wine very much, if at all. So I'm an anomaly there for sure.